But this month, and the association is making mandates as we are obviously still amidst a global pandemic. Unvaccinated NBA players in New York City and San Francisco will not be paid for missed games resulting from local COVID-19 vaccine mandates that prevent them from playing. So the announcement came one day after the NBA made clear its preference to employ a vaccine mandate for its players, pointing to the Players Union as the roadblock to securing 100% vaccination for its members. This could cost unvaccinated players on the New York Knicks, Brooklyn Nets, Golden State Warriors significant salary, like Kyrie Irving and Andrew Wiggins. Now, the NBA's executive vice president of communications released this statement. Any player who elects not to comply with local vaccination mandates will not be paid for games that he misses. Jay Williams moonlighting with us after four hours of television. Thank you so much for sticking around with us, sir.
My pleasure.
I'll start with you here. Jay, how do you see this playing out between players in the league?
Well, I think it depends on who the players are. I think for some players, if they are adamant enough that maybe they need more time to come to a conclusion, which I find to be respectable. Look, I am vaccinated. If I'm having a conversation with somebody that is on the fence about whether they want to be vaccinated or not, and they say, hey, look, I just need some more time to see how this thing mutates, to see if the vaccination process changes in time.
Should Fields push his way out?
I may not like it, but at the end of the day, I have to respect that, right? So if they've accumulated a certain amount of wealth to a certain degree, and they didn't want to be forced or mandated to get a vaccine, if they have $70, $80 million in the bank, maybe they don't want to play. Maybe they don't want to play. I don't understand, and I think this is a moment that was a lost opportunity for the league. The league has always been extremely progressive to me in their stances on things. And to kind of say, hey, we're going to fall underneath the shield of the municipality of New York and San Francisco, there's something internally me, and I am vaccinated. I get the point of it. But when companies mandate that people have to get vaccinated to a certain degree, I think that forces people to dig their heels into the sand even more. And the people who have the wealth behind them to do so, if they feel like they are being forced, may not want to do that. And at the end of the day, if that's their decision, I have to respect that. But it's all weird to me because Kyrie can lose 52% of his salary, $18 million for the 2 games he plays against the Knicks and here in Brooklyn. But Kyrie can then go play in Golden State. Andrew Wiggins has to lose 50% of his salary, but can come here in New York and play here with no repercussions. Or Bradley Beal, who decides maybe he doesn't want to get vaccinated, Stephen A., will make his full salary in $37 million and will not lose anything.
There's a lot of governing bodies involved in this.
That's my point.
Beyond
Let me respond to that.
Sure.
Get the hell over it.
I don't have to.
I'm not talking about you.
Okay.
I'm speaking in general. You know that. I got love for you.
No, we're on the same page.
I'm saying get the hell over it. Here's why. You know, money matters. I like to get paid. You like to get paid? Don't you like to get paid?
I do.
But you know something, Jay? If you live in New York, they're going to take your money. You're going to get taxed at about 13%. You go to California, you're going to get taxed at about New York, 11, 12%. California, you're going to get taxed about 13%. Last time I checked in Philadelphia, it's about 3%. Delaware is 0. The state of Washington might be 0.
Nice.
The point that I'm trying to make to you, all things ain't equal. We all know that. There are advantages that come along. I was just talking to Justin Termini, and Eddie yesterday on their show on NBA radio. And then Justin Termini was pointing that out. Wait a minute, Eddie Johnson, he was like, he said, there's always discrepancies in the world of sports. Everybody don't get paid the same. You don't get taxed the same. You got to deal with it on that level. Now, here's where you and I are aligned because I side with you on this because I brought this up yesterday, I believe. I don't like the fact that Kyrie Irving can be is not allowed to play at the Barclays Center, but a visitor can. Either no one that's unvaccinated can play in the Barclays Center, or you can play in the Barclays Center. It's just that simple. That's number one. Let me get political here for a quick second to Mayor de Blasio in New York City. Okay. Just a suggestion, sir. Before you go in front of the microphone and call out Kyrie Irving for not being vaccinated, could you deal with the police officers in New York that ain't vaccinated? Because he has dominion over them. The police department answers to the mayor. How you gonna sit up there and have unvaccinated cops, but you talk about an NBA player? Mind your business. It doesn't concern you. The NBA can handle that situation. You don't need the mayor of New York or any other city for that matter talking about an NBA player when you got cops that ain't vaccinated. That's number two. Having said all of that, I stand with the NBA. If the NFL did it, I'd stand with them. This is business. This is business. And if you have the ability to affect my bottom line, okay, because of your unvaccinated status, if I got to sit up there and go through hoops because I'm worried about you potentially contaminating players or what have you, it's a concern. And they have a right to be concerned.
It's not bottom line. It's getting other people sick.
But they also have the protocols in place, though. There's rapid testing. They've been doing this before.
Evidently, they don't think it's enough.
But it is. I mean, they've been doing this. They've been doing it the whole time they were in the bubble, though, Stephen A.
They're doing it because they don't have, you know this, Jay. They're doing it because they don't have a choice, because the union won't sign off on the mandate.
Exactly.
So you got to go around it.
That's what the players feel.
But if the league could do it, they would.
Keyword,
Of course they would.
Keyword, bubble. They were in a bubble. We're no longer in a bubble anymore. It's much riskier.
I hear what you're saying, but still, like,
you're going home to your families. Your kids are in schools. You're going out. You're traveling. It's very different than being locked down in a bubble.
That's everyday people, though. I mean, that's where so then you're making things for everyday companies by saying,
a lot of companies are requiring it.
I was double vaccinated. I still caught COVID.
Right.
I still caught it.
Right.
It lessened my.
There you go.
It lessened my features that I had with the issue. Right.
Right.
And my recovery time was faster. But if I didn't get tested, I could have brought it into work. I don't know. So what I'm saying is it's murky. Yeah. It's not as easy as just saying it's black and white.
That's another wrinkle. You're right.
Unless you're getting tested every single day, that's how you know.
Guys, no one's denying
I understand.
No one's denying it's murky. But a business has a right to address their concerns and their bottom lines. And if you don't like it, then that's a sacrifice that you have to make.
Fair.
Let's get to another billion-dollar business. That would be the Lakers. So following their first official practice together as teammates, Russell Westbrook called Anthony Davis the ultimate weapon and promised to maximize the big man's impact for the Los Angeles Lakers this season. Here's Mr. Triple-Double himself.
One of a kind. There's nobody like him that can do everything that he's able to do at his size. And my job is to make sure I continue to push him each day, each practice, these games, where he can be at the top of his game each and every night. He's been in this league a long time, so he understands how to play the game. He knows when he needs to turn up, and I know now he wants to turn it up. So it's my job to make sure that that's up every single night.
All right, starting with you. Now we're talking some basketball. Now we're talking the fun stuff. Yes, that which we all love. Who should Westbrook be pushing more? Is it Anthony Davis or is it Westbrook?
I think he can do both. I don't know why. Look, Russell Westbrook is the ultimate competitor. By the way, Russell Westbrook did call Anthony Davis the ultimate weapon, Stephen A. Right? And let's talk about what happened to AD last year. Missed 36 games due to injuries. But I want you to know something about AD. AD has a talent to be one of the best to ever do it.
Yes.
But last year, career low in rebounds, fewest blocks, field goal percentage, and free throw line percentage. 21.8 points per game marked his lowest scoring average since his second year in the league.
Yep.
So if there's a reason why you're bringing Russ over to this team, yes, because of his pace, because of his aggression in which he can play, but also because of that mentality. And now what LeBron James has in his back pocket, instead of LeBron James always having to be that cop to try to push AD, or when he's not around to get AD to see the bigger picture, now you have guys like Russell Westbrook. Now you guys have like Rondo. I'm not taking any accountability away from Russell Westbrook for Russell Westbrook, because he does have accountability for that. But I like the leadership and that mentality he brings to this team.
I have no problem with it, but I think that Russell Westbrook is a plus, not a minus. And I applaud his mentality. I love his fire. Y'all know that. What I would tell you is that the focus right now has to be on Anthony Davis in this regard. Russell Westbrook talked about it, and maybe it was because it was a question thrown to him by the media, and we understand that. Anthony Davis has literally had about 50 injuries in his career. 50. Anthony Davis has missed about 155 games in his career. Where I stand is that somewhere along the line, when Russell Westbrook talks about him turning it up, Anthony Davis had to acknowledge that's something you didn't do in the past. And that's where we get to Anthony Davis. What possible excuse could you have? What did I say last year? When I was concerned about the Lakers, they were walking around town because, as you know, I do get to L.A.
Quite often these
Quite
days.
often these days, okay?
We know. You're bi-coastal.
I do
You're
get to
fancy. We know.
I do get to LA.
Everyone, Stephen A. has multiple homes. We know.
No. I'm just saying, all I'm saying, I ain't going all that. I'm just telling you I frequent LA.
Oh,
and I love it. I mean, I play the song I Love LA every morning. I mean, I just do.
Geez.
Okay, here's the deal. You won the title. What were you doing in the off season?
Mm-hmm.
You see, at moments like this, as critical as we can be of LeBron James from time to time, this is when we need to step back and pay homage to LeBron. This is why he's on the Mount Rushmore, to the Kobe's, to the MJ's or whatever. They're the marquee. They're the headline. And there's an innate internal responsibility that they feel to answer the call. So it's not just about my ability. It's about making sure that I'm in shape. It's about making sure that I maximize my potential and that I'm ready for all comers as an individual because everyone's looking at me. And my response to that is, how could you have a teammate like LeBron that just helped deliver you your first title ever? And I'm not insulting Anthony Davis. I'm asking a question because it's something that I would ask him to his face. If you didn't do all you could physically to have yourself in peak condition, how could you allow that to happen to you when you know you playing with a champion? You playing with a guy that the bullseye is perpetually on his back. How could you have that slippage? And so it's great that Russell Westbrook is there. Russell Westbrook's chasing the ring too now. But we've never looked at Russell Westbrook and said durability is an issue, conditioning's an issue. Only time we ever question Russell Westbrook's conditioning in his career is when the brother came down with COVID.
I agree with you.
It.
I say I agree with you to an extent.
Okay.
But I do want to provide you some cover on this.
Please.
The last 2 seasons have been condensed seasons and they've been quick turnarounds.
Okay.
So for AD's body, I hear what you're saying.
Right.
Some of the things that I've heard about training and taking that seriously in the offseason, putting on that flexibility, that weight, body muscle-wise. But there is something to be said about playing the amount of games they played in those condensed times and the time they've had off in between.
You know what? And I'll throw this back at you. I know LeBron is a freak of nature.
Yeah.
But I would be pretty embarrassed if a dude that is older than me is consistently in better shape than me when we have the same profession. That would bother me.
Well, a lot of that's luck, though, Stephen A. too now.
Again, I'm not talking, injuries happen. I'm talking about conditioning. I'm talking about you roll up in and you ready. Last year, you know he wasn't. You covered the NBA. You know he wasn't ready at the start. And that's on him. And I love Anthony Davis. He's one, I think Anthony Davis has the potential to be, he is one of the all-time greats. He truly is. And he's a great player, great guy. All I'm trying to say is that you got to know when LeBron James is your teammate, that brother is likely going to need you as the season wanes because he's expecting to go deep in the playoffs. You got to be ready, man. You got to be ready. And last year, a few Lakers were not ready.
Agreed. I agree with you on that.
And that is inexcusable when LeBron James is your teammate because if nothing else, physically, that brother is going to be ready.
Wasn't all-time high in injuries last season for a lot of players. That's all.
Okay.
I hear what you're saying.
Okay. I'm not talking about this last year.
No.
And LeBron talked about that too, the short offseason. You're 100% right. Warriors at Lakers, October 19th, this time with Klay Thompson. And obviously, Russ will be on the court. Can't wait. Lakers' second best odds to win the title behind the Brooklyn Nets. Up ahead
It's about right.
Up ahead on First Take. Yesterday, Marcus Spears said the Bears rookie quarterback needs to demand a trade from Chicago right now. Do the fellas agree? Plus, same division.